Hi there, Internet. I know I play a lot of first-person shooters here on YouTube, and I talk a lot of smack about guns. So I'm here I'm still on YouTube. I'm here not in a first-person shooter video game to talk more smack about guns. This is everybody's favorite bog standard 9mm flashlight, red dot, blah, blah, blah. 9mm, nothing exciting. I want to talk about something often overlooked, lost but not forgotten. I'm here to talk about revolvers. Because, well, your grandpa's 357 Magnum might not have a flashlight or red dot, and it only holds 6 rounds, or 8 if you're lucky, 7 maybe, 5 if you're unlucky. You versus the guy she tells you not to worry about, right? Revolvers can do some things and have advantages that autoloaders don't. Show weapons clear, just for video's sake. I have another one here. Weapons clear. Not pointing at myself. That's over the shoulder. Now then. 38 Special, 357 Magnum. Leads me to my first thing that revolvers can do that autoloaders can't. Some autoloaders, 1911, gets upset when you change the kind of ammo you're carrying. Like, oh, I can only run FMJs because my 1911 won't eat hollow points. Well, a revolver will shoot anything that chambers. So this 357 will also shoot 38 Special just fine. They're multi-caliber. You know, a 44 Magnum will shoot 44 Special just fine. Now, it's kind of hard to see because I got this table here and I'm in a little shed and I'm a redneck and there's not quite enough space, but I do have a table here that the camera's on with my first ring light, so I got to do cam girl shit now. A revolver, because it has this drum, right, cylinder, is a little wider than an automatic, but that's not necessarily a bad thing because it's only wider in this one spot. So if you have an automatic, you know, if it's on your nightstand, or if you're fighting with somebody and you drop it and he knocks it out of your hand, whatever, and now it's flat. And now it's that much harder to pick up because it's flat. The revolver, it's got the drum there. It's going to stick up a little bit. You get a little bit of a gap. Here's an extra spot. You can get your thumb in under it. You can dig and grab, and it's that much easier to pick up off the ground. Small, niche, but it is a thing. Revolvers, I know a lot of autoloaders these days, such as this one, don't have a safety. Your safety is keeping your booger hook off the bang switch. Revolvers don't have safety either, so they're fresh and modern and cool, unlike your boomer dad's 1911 that only eats FMJ. Smaller revolvers, such as this little guy, dirty, can be fired. Say hypothetically I'm wearing a hoodie and you have your revolver in your hoodie pocket. You can shoot the gun, again showing unloaded for demonstration's sake. You can shoot the gun inside your hoodie and it'll go all 6 rounds or 5 rounds or 7 rounds or 8 rounds, however many rounds you got in your revolver, inside the hoodie, because there's no slide, there's nothing reciprocating. You shoot an automatic, you'll get the first round off, and then the hoodie, your gut, whatever gets in the way, something's gonna bump on this, and it's not gonna cycle all the way, and you'll fail to eject. Or if it does have enough oomph to eject, it's gonna catch up in these guts and grab your shirt, or your hoodie's gonna get sucked into it, and you won't get all the way into battery. Speaking of into battery, revolvers are great for close range point defense. Statistically speaking, I don't know if it's true, but 90% of the statistics here on the internet are false. I heard somewhere that most shootings, civilian on civilian self-defense shootings, are 3 rounds at 3 yards in 3 seconds. I've never seen a revolver that holds less than 3 rounds. Don't get a Derringer, get a revolver. It'll at least be 5. You'll be fine. 3 yards or less is pretty short. And if it's right up in your face, you're point blank, wherever my camera is, I don't know if it's the top or the bottom of the phone. I'm working off of a phone because I'm a poor redneck. If you're using an autoloader, your gun may be pushed. So you got that kind of motion. See that? If you're pressed up against somebody and don't have a nice flashlight to give you that teeny little bit of standoff, otherwise your gun, whoop, see that teeny bit of motion there? See my hand moving? The slide's not? Yeah, if you're pressed up into somebody's belly because they're lying on top of you, and now my gun's out of battery and it won't go bang. Till you get back in battery and reset the trigger, and now it goes bang. So, revolver doesn't do that. There's no moving parts. It cannot be out of battery. It will go bang every time you get the booger hook on that bang switch. And, being a revolver, not all of them. Some of them have shrouded hammers. Some of them have trimmed, shaved down hammers that don't have this. But if you want, you can shoot whoop, single action. Some of them are single action only. Here goes my notes. Now, I'd advise not doing that. Or I'd advise not having a single action only as your carry gun. But now let's go back to a more medium-sized revolver. This is a 4-inch 357 versus a 2-inch. But still single, double. So if you need to take a longer shot, you can do that. And it's going to be a lot easier because you've got this teeny little... I'm going to show you there with my thumb. There's no take up. You're right there. It's ready to go. She's hot and ready. An autoloader is going to have a whole bunch of... Here's a unmodified, minus flashlight and red dot, unmodified PSI dagger. Has that much creep before it breaks. Yeah. Now then, you take all that creep out of a big heavy double action trigger, and sure, a 4-inch barrel, 4-inch barrel. Remember what I was telling you, you versus the guy she says not to worry about? 357 Magnum has got a lot more balls on it than 9mm does. Excuse me, I lost my 9mm example. At 200 yards, I'm speaking purely in foot-pounds here, this 4-inch 357 with a 158 grain Federal Hydroshock at 200 yards has the same energy that this 147 grain out of this barrel length Federal Hydroshock has at the muzzle. 200 yards at the muzzle. You tell me. There's a little bit of oomph. It's got some balls on it. Now, being a revolver, not having a safety, not having a mag release, it's naturally ambidextrous. So it doesn't matter if you're right-handed and right-eye dominant, or left-handed and left-eye dominant, or left-handed and right-eye dominant, because I'm weird and somebody's got to be fun. It is what it is. Revolvers are hard to shoot good, but they're the easiest to shoot because you just point and squeeze. Now, yeah, your long double action trigger pull is going to be a little bit of a problem, but that's what I was saying. They're hard to shoot good. They're easiest to shoot. If you have an elderly person, your mom, your girlfriend, somebody with weak hands, somebody that's small. This is where all the boomers are going to tell your girl, so don't let your girlfriend go to the gun store alone, because them old boomers are going to hit on her and tell her to get a J-frame in 38 Special, and it's not going to be fun to shoot because it's small and light, and it's going to have some umphy recoil, and it's going to hurt, and she ain't going to like it, and she ain't going to practice. So don't do that. But the reason that FUD lore is a thing is because a revolver, all you have to do is be able to squeeze a trigger. Whereas an automatic, you have to have the strength of grip, strength of arms to do that. And some people, my mother has milked a lot of goats because I'm a redneck, and her carpal tunnel is pretty bad, and she doesn't always have the strength to do that in her hands. She doesn't have that much grippy. Get her a revolver. And that's not just your mom or your girlfriend. I had a motorcycle wreck in 2018. I was carrying this gun in that wreck, and I continued to carry it for some time after said wreck because I hyperextended the shit out of both wrists in that motorcycle wreck, and for weeks I did not have the grip strength to be able to do this. You don't have to do that on revolvers. So there's a thing. It's a small thing, but it's a thing. Consider it. Last, I'm going to talk about reloading, because that's the bull in the china shop. This little magazine, whoop, 15 rounds. I've got other ones. Here we go. 17 rounds. They're not on me, with me, but I have other ones. They're 25, 27, 19, 30, 33, however many you want. And it's as easy as putting magazine in a gun. And there's your reload. So you do that in a revolver, you get 6. And it's not just, whoop, right? You can't, nah. Whoop. It's not like that. Doesn't work that way. So there's a couple ways to reload revolvers, and all of them are going to be slow. You're going to get less bullets for more time. There are 5, 6, 7, 8 round. There's a lot of names for these. Quick strips, speed strips, something along those lines. Here, this, I don't know if you can read that. Not really. There, it kind of picks up. This is an actual quick strip. This is a generic, so I ain't going to talk about that one. I don't own it. Unrelated, 30-30 rimmed rifle cases fit perfectly in 44 Magnum speed strips. So if you've got a lever action and you're out hunting with it, you can carry spare ammo in a speed strip, because you should never have loose bullets like these. Sorry, my video got interrupted. I had to restart. This is curved. It's round. It's under your t-shirt. So what if it prints? It's curved. It's round. It's a natural shape. It's not as obvious. People ain't going to notice the same way. So, while I'm not saying printing is okay, I don't worry about it quite as much in this college town with all these hipsters when I'm gray manning real hard. Now, I'm going to get back to reloading. Excuse me for that tangent. Another method of reloading. Speed loaders. Yes, they're faster than speed strips, but they're bigger, they're bulkier. And I kind of don't like them as much, because these are nice and flat. There we go. 2 of them fit together nicely. Throw them in my butt pocket of my little pink shorts. I almost wore them just to show you, but I didn't want to scare you neither. I throw them in the butt pocket of my pink shorts, and you never know they're there. They're great. These things, either put it in a leather pouch on your belt, or throw one loose in your pocket, and then you got a lump, and who knows what it is. There's a couple different styles. Some of them you slap them, some of them you twist them. and the bullets fall out. Nice and easy. I'll put all these back in real quick. They're thrown on the floor. Now, real quick, I got some aluminum snap caps I'm putting in my gun here, so don't freak out. I'm going to show you, since I was discussing these speed loaders, I apologize for the interruption in the video, my budget phone ran out of memory and I had to delete a bunch of memes because 90% of what's in my phone is just thousands of memes. Now, I have snap caps in my revolver, and I'm going to show you the old school FBI approved method of reloading a revolver. A lot of people will see, you know, the flip, they do the flip it shut in video games, movies. Don't. Ever. This is your friend, your mistress, and if you treat her well, she will treat you well. She's not to be thrown around like that. This little star here in the middle, where the mechanism locks up, I just dumped out all my snap caps, with the hand in there that adjusts, or not adjusts, but advances the wheel to the next round, like so, will get damaged. You'll get out of time, and you'll get, you see that wobble? You get a lot of wobble, and ain't good, because it might go bang when your cylinder is not lined up with the barrel, and then you'll have an even bigger problem. So, don't do that. As I said previously, reloading a revolver is harder, it's slower, and you get fewer rounds. And that's the problem with revolvers. So, you're going bang, 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 and all of a sudden you get click, 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 click. First, point the gun up. Hollywood carry. Gravity will help you. In my case, my gun, my hand size, works in this specific combination of this hand with this gun, or this hand with this gun. Bigger guns, smaller hands, bigger hands, smaller guns, etc. Won't necessarily be able to do it. Surprise. But you'll find what works for you. So I use my thumb on this here, boop, boop, and my finger pressing on the outside pops the wheel open. And with gravity helping you, empties fall out. They don't, but gravity will help them fall out. After a round has been fired, the brass will expand and it will be form-fitted to the inside of those chambers. So it's not going to come out. But now, right, I've pushed my finger all the way through the frame, and I'm on the groove here, on the wheel, holding the wheel so it doesn't spin. And with my thumb out of the way, so I'm not blocking the brass from coming out, and with the gun pointed up, so that gravity will help me, I take my other hand and slap the shit out of it. Now, the mistress needs to be treated roughly. Sometimes they do behave. And in order to make sure that they do what you want them to do, you're going to slap the shit out of it. You hit this plunger, flat hand, and that will give it enough gusto to get all that fire-formed brass out of all these chambers. Boop, empties pop out. Now, I have a speed loader full of fresh bullets. Hopefully, try and cup it this way. It's a nice shape I can feel with my fingers. So now, I'm going to rotate the gun down, not pointing at myself. Notice I spread my legs, so I'm not pointing the gun at myself. And we take these. Sorry, phone ran out of memory again. Now, I'm going to hold this up here so you can see. But with your speed loader and these fingers feeling, so you can index on the cylinder there, and these are going to drop in like that. And then, in this case, some of them you slap. In this case, these are HKS 10s. You turn, whoop, and it drops bullets, and they all fall in. And now, so theoretically, I've still got this grip with my finger through the frame so that my wheel isn't turning and my thumb's out of the way. Now, you can roll the wheel shut to get your 6 rounds back in the battery, and you can continue going bang, bang, bang until it goes click, click, click as necessary. Now, that's just what I do because I run competitions, I like revolvers, I shoot guns, it's fun. And the first rule about guns is to have fun. As other greater YouTubers than I have said. Now, the FBI approved method, as I said, is very similar. But it involves changing hands. So, you go click, your support hand comes up onto the front of the gun so that your thumb on your strong hand can push the release, and you're going to hold these 2 fingers and your palm holding the drum in the same place, and you rotate the gun open. And now use your strong hand to slap out those empties, because sometimes she needs that. And you're naturally going to have the gun, pointing up where gravity's going to help you. And now is the awkward part, where you turn it upside down, and using your strong hand with your speed loader, get it in there, and then you can roll it shut again, while reacquiring your appropriate strong hand grip, and go bang, bang, bang until it goes click, 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 as needed. The last bit of revolver advice before I run out of phone memory again, damn you 32 gigs, is your grip with your thumbs, because our traditional auto-loader grip, you got both thumbs forward, right? So you can lock both wrists, like your elbows out, holds the gun. You get as much contact on the gun as possible to absorb as much recoil as possible. Don't do that on a revolver, because now you've got this cylinder gap, and it's going to blow the tip of your thumb off with flames coming out of this teeny little gap between the gun and the cylinder. So don't do that. Just have a regular, both thumbs curled, boop, grip. Now, last bit of advice. Old revolver, and my phone ran out of memory again. 5th time's the charm. So, last bit of advice about revolvers. New guns, such as this one, with a flat hammer, have, I don't know if the light will let you see, a free-floating firing pin in there, which is protected by that little flat plate, so that you can't have an accidental discharge. There's still negligent discharge, but that's a different video, different argument. Revolvers with flat faces like this are safe to dry fire. That's fine. Older guns, especially single action guns, such as, this is not single action, it is older, that have the hammer with the firing pin. The firing pin is on the hammer. Now this one is replaceable and spring-loaded. These are not safe to dry fire unless you have snap caps, something to put all that energy into. So, if it doesn't have a hammer with a pin on it, it's safe to dry fire all you like without snap caps. But if it does, don't. Simple as. Now, I know this is a long ranting video, and I've said a lot of things about revolvers, like how they're nice and easy to pick up off tables. My point is, they're not as irrelevant as you might think. Sure, they only hold 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 rounds. Not 15, maybe 18 or 30 rounds, like an autoloader. And they take longer to reload, and the reloading is a more detailed, complex, fine motor skill function that you're going to be hard-pressed to do under a strenuous situation. But for like all the other reasons I mentioned, being able to fire it in your hoodie, not going out of battery, being multi-caliber capable, being better because it's a more powerful cartridge that you can, if you so choose, fire single action with. I don't know if you can tell, there's a little mark there so that my front sight is broken up into above and below the mark so I can angle stuff. I've been able to hit gallon milk jugs at 150 yards with this gun, standing, with factory 357 Magnum ammo. So they're longer range, they're more powerful, they're more reliable, they're simpler, they're heavier, they're easier to conceal, they're longer to reload, they're lower capacity. These are all things you know. Probably. If you've been watching the video. But they're not irrelevant. They are an option to consider. But you must consider for you. I often carry 2 guns because I have a personal experience with a catastrophic malfunction in a parking lot at night in an airport where I used to work. But let's not talk about that story. 2 is 1, 1 is none. It's part of why I carry 2. And while I don't necessarily feel comfortable having a revolver as a primary, I usually have a revolver as a backup to a primary. For all of the reasons I already mentioned. So, don't underestimate them. They may be lost, but they don't have to be forgotten. Hardy, hardy.